guys, welcome to the channel today. This is Danette with Perry Hill Farms. Today I want to share with you a new recipe that my family has come to love here on the farm. I have shared with you that I've jumped in full feet first and I have started the sourdough journey. I always said I probably would never do it because I don't have the time to that it would take to keep up a sourdough starter. But what I've found, it for me, I've actually been able to keep up with it, and it's not as hard and as complicated as you might think it might be. So today I wanted to share this little recipe with you. I know that many of you are asking for some recipes from us, and so before I go out and get the animals fed, I wanted to get this started because it has to sit for a little while. But I wanted to show you today. I'm going to show you how I make homemade sourdough pizza crust, and it's really easy. The thing about sourdough is you kind of have to think ahead, and it's hard for us these days to think ahead. You know, we're in the right now. We're kind of last minute cookers, and we want something real quick. And this could be real quick for you during the week if you prepare on the front side a little bit. So I absolutely love it. I've made so many things with sourdough, and my family has enjoyed it. I don't think we've bought a loaf of bread since I've started making sourdough bread. As I shared with you, I wanted to get away from all of the chemicals and the preservatives in your ultra-processed food. So I was really trying to cook what's on the farm and good, healthy ingredients in it. So that's what this is as compared. Now I'm comparing it to store-bought or restaurant-made, you know, pizzas and calzones and stuff like that. This is not going to have the preservatives in it. My pasta sauce is going to be homemade. My pizza dough is homemade. I will use pepperonis from the store, and of course the cheese, because I haven't started milking October Grace yet. And that's one of the things that we have to do is when we start milking her, we hope to get enough milk from her that we can make our own butter and maybe even some cheese. That will be something we'll look at down the road. But for this recipe, this was one I found. I love Lisa on Farmhouse on Boom. A lot of her recipes are very easy to follow. And I found this pizza dough recipe when I first started. And it's very easy. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get the pizza dough to mix together. I'll show you all the ingredients, what we do. And then I'm going to let it rest. And then we're going to go out. I've got to check on the missus today. She might be having her piggies today. I'm not sure. Today is April 1st, so we'll see. Maybe she won't fool us. But what this calls for, and for those of you who don't understand, this is my starter. It has not been fed. And I could spend a whole nother video on talking to you about the difference between sourdough starter discard and sourdough starter that is active and that's been fed. This one has not been fed today, so it's not been, oh, it smells so good. That smell, I love it. But it's going to call for half a cup of starter, and then 4 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of water, and 2 teaspoons of salt, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Most of the time you use a scale and you weigh your stuff, and she will sometimes give you the weighted measurements because your flour can weigh differently. It just depends on how it's processed. I use King Arthur's flour, for those of you who don't know. I use their bread flour and their all-purpose flour because it's unbleached. It hasn't been bleached in any way, and it does so much better for us. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to get this mixed together, and then I'll show you, we'll just let it sit and rest, and then we're going to go out and check on the missus. Okay, for today, we're going to use my KitchenAid with the dough hook for mixing this dough recipe. I'm also not only going to make pizzas, I might use the dough. I might double the recipe to get some calzones made as well for supper. We'll see. So let's double this recipe and see what we can come up with. Some pizzas and some things. So actually this recipe, since I'm doubling, it's going to be a cup of starter. So let me get that going. Now, this is my starter. You can see the hooch on it. That just means it needs to be fed. And I will feed it. Once I'm done here, once I get my cup of starter out. So I'm going to add my cup of starter. And what I have found is a lot of recipes, you can use just the discard to make your recipe. And a lot of my recipes have turned out just fine. I have had some disastrous ones. So since I'm doubling, I'm using a cup of starter. What did I use? Wait a minute, that's half a cup, so I need to get one more in there. A full cup of starter. Okay. And you never ever, I don't know if you know this or not, ever want to wash this starter down your sink. You want to make sure you get it all off because it will harden on your pipes. I'm going to get a little bit more because I don't think that last cup was full. Boy, you can smell the yeast, the growing in there. It smells so good. It's such good for your gut too. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside because I'm going to need to clean it. So I'll set that aside. Okay, so we've got our cup of starter in there. Okay, the next thing I'm going to add is it's going to be 8 cups of flour. I've got my King Arthur flour here. So I'm going to put this, I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple in there and let it start. So 8 cups. There's 1. This is going to be a lot of dough, but that's okay. If I don't use it all, I can put it in the freezer and it freezes. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's my 8th cup. This is going to be a big dough recipe. I'm going to go ahead and let me get my water added. There's going to be 3 cups since I'm doubling it. Remember, I want to keep reminding you. I know I say that a lot, but this is a double recipe. 3. So there's my 3 cups. I'm going to go ahead and turn my dough hook on very slow. This is going to probably be messy. Let that start mixing. And get my 4 teaspoons of salt in there. And I am using Redmond salt. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it'll start incorporating here in just a minute. And usually with the dough hook, we're going to mix it here on medium speed until it gets all blended together, and then we're going to do a pain test on it. A window pane test, and what that is you're going to pick the dough up and you're just going to see if it stretches good. This usually takes about 10 minutes for it to get going. If you don't have a dough hook, you can use your hand. It just takes a little bit longer to mix it with your hand. And see, while that's mixing, I can be over here washing up my dishes, get my bowl ready to put my dough in. After this has been mixed thoroughly and it passes the window pane test, we're going to put it in a olive oil greased bowl, and we're going to let it sit. And then that's when I'm going to go out and I'm going to do my other chores. See, it just takes a little bit of planning. Just a little bit of planning. And once you get it set in your mind, it's pretty easy to follow. Okay, let me stop it and see how it's going. It's incorporated. It's not sticking to the wall. And so I'm going to pull it up and see it's tearing. So I want to let it go just a little bit more to incorporate that sourdough in there. And what this dough hook is doing is it's stretching the dough and activating the gluten in the dough. That's going to give us a nice, see it's tearing apart. So the window pane, this test has not passed yet. So we're going to let it go a little bit longer and mix while I continue to clean up. Look in there. Can you see that? And I wish you could smell it. It smells so good. So I'm going to feed this because I want it to get active, because I want to put some more bread together, and I want to make some more goodies. I don't know what I'm going to do. Cookies or something like that. So we'll see. So I'm going to feed this based on what I have. I've gotten pretty good at measuring the right amount by eyeballing a little bit on my sourdough. So I did measure this. It's right at 300, just a little less, so about 275. Okay, so I've got pretty good about eyeballing. I did measure this to get me just a little bit accurate. I'm going to add about, turn this on. The thing with starter, you want to do equal parts. One part starter, 1 part flour, and 1 part water. And you want to use filtered water. Or in my case, I have well water. It works great. So I'm going to add about 275 grams of flour to this. Most people, and I do usually keep a smaller thing, but I haven't made, I need to make some bread and I need to make some cookies, so I need a little bit more sourdough. So I'm just going to feed my big one here. It's close. I'm going to do a little bit more. Okay. And then I'm going to add that much water. I'm going to tear it off there, and I'm going to add that much water. I'm just going to measure it. That's about right. Oh man, that smells so good. And then I'm just going to use my wooden spoon, and I'm just going to mix it up. Now, I know the consistency it should be. See how it's getting thicker? You want it to be about the consistency of pancake batter whenever you mix it up. Let me move this thing out of the way. It's in the way. So I'm going to mix this up, and it's looking, I'm making sure all the flour's incorporated. So what happens here is I just fed it. I just fed the baby. It was hungry. It wanted to eat. And so I just fed it, and I'm going to let it sit on the counter at room temperature until this afternoon when I get ready to make my other goodies. And it should, when I come back in, it should be nice and bubbly, meaning it's happy. It's got a full belly and all of that. So I'll let that sit on the counter while we do our other stuff. We're going to check on our pizza dough over here and see how it's doing. Okay, let's stop this. What I failed to add to this while ago was the oil. I added 4 tablespoons of oil to this dough. I forgot about that. So we've got our starter in here. We've got our flour in here. We've added our salt. And I've added my oil. And we're going to check it here in just a minute. I think it's good for the window pane test. As you pull, see, it doesn't tear. See? You can get a real thin. It started tearing a little bit right there, but I think it's good. Just by experience, I think it's good. So that gives you, you know that your gluten's activated in there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add it to that greased bowl. So let's head over there. Okay, so I've got my bowl oiled, and I'm just going to take this dough right here. Boy, it's going to be, it smells so good. I'm going to let it sit until I'm ready to make the calzones and the pizza dough. So now it's just going to sit in this old bowl here, and it's going to rise. It'll probably, this is so much, it'll probably rise out of the thing, and I'm going to cover it with plastic. Let me grab the plastic. Okay, so now I'm going to let it rest. It's covered. It's going to sit here on the counter for It's a little late, but I know by the time I get ready, by 4 o'clock, it'll be about 6 or 7 hours. It says 8 hours, but by 4 or 5 o'clock, it'll be ready to divide and make the calzones and the pizza. I can't wait to share that with you. That's going to be fun. I'm going to go to the freezer and get some of our own sausage out of there to add to the pizzas and the calzones. I have mushrooms here. We'll use some onions and bell peppers and lots of cheese. And then again, I have my own pasta sauce that I'll add to it. So I'm excited. So we're going to let this rest. I'm going to go do my farm chores while this is resting and any other thing I can get into. And we'll come back and we'll put this dough together.
Hello?
Hey, sister.
Hey.
What you doing?
Holding the baby.
Well, I'm putting pizza and calzones together for dinner.
Okay.
Okay?
Alright, I'll probably come after this here.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Denise is with my sister, taking care of her. My older sister, she fell down some stairs and busted her head, fractured some ribs. She had a pneumothorax, broke her pinky toe, and busted her chin. And so she just got out of the hospital yesterday. So Denise went over there to help take care of her. In hopes that she will be getting better, because bless her heart, that was a rough fall for her. She's a little bit older than us, and if anybody's ever had fractured ribs before, they know how painful they are. And so Denise is caring for her today, and I'm here on the homestead. Actually, Mom's went with Denise too, so it's quiet in here. Very quiet. I don't know how to act. I love it. I love it. So anyway, okay, dough's resting. I'll let everybody know what I'm making for supper. I'm getting some sounds good and thumbs up from the guys and Meemaw. And we're going to now, it's just a little before noon. We're going to go take care of everything. And we'll come back in a few hours and I'll show you how to put this together. Hey guys, we're back. I almost forgot to include you on the video. I've already made one calzone and I'll show you how I did it in just a minute. But here's the first one right there. And I'll show you how I make the next one. I'm a bit aggravated because I was making my husband some Cheez-It crackers because he loves to have salty stuff to snack on. And so I'm trying to get him some good, healthy, salty stuff to snack on. So, but I turned them on broilers to get them a little bit browner, and they burnt. So I'm so aggravated, But my dough's come out. It's nice and pretty. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to roll it out in a circle. I've got 2 more pieces of dough. That's going to be my pizzas. Hopefully they'll roll out good for me. But roll this out into a circle. This is for the second calzone. So I'm just going to get it going in a circle. This is the Lisa's on Farmhouse on Boom. This is her recipe for pizza dough. So I'm just using it to make the calzones, which is basically the same, a similar recipe. I'm going to roll it out real thin. My counter space gets really small when I get in here and get to working like this. Run out of room. Can I tell you how aggravated I am about them Cheez-Its? I'm just disgusted. Just disgusted. So you roll this out in a circle, real thin. And get it spread out as far as I can. That makes a bigger calzone. I was making an oblong calzone. How about that? It's wanting to. You can see the elasticity in the dough, which means it's going to be good. Okay, I'm out of room. So I'm just gonna, I'll just stretch it like this. I did melted some butter and put some garlic powder in. I'm just gonna brush the inside of it. And then I'm gonna take my homemade pizza sauce that I made. I'm going to spread it on the whole thing. So I'm just going to go all the way across. Just a thin layer. I don't want it too thick because it'll ooze out. Can you see that? Can you see that? Look at there. Yummy. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some mozzarella cheese. I'm going to sprinkle that all over. All over. This one might not be as big as the other one. We'll see. I'll do a little bit of the sausage in there, just sprinkle just a little bit. This is, I added some oregano to my, this is our pig sausage that we had. Do just a little bit of it, some right there. Okay, now I'm going to put some pepperonis. Ooh, my counter space is gone. You see my starter is starting to look bubbly, which means it's being fed. So I'll put some pepperoni on that side. Beckett's going to be so excited when he comes to Nana's tonight and see all the goodies. Okay, I have some peppers and onions to put on them. So I'll do a few peppers. A few onions. These are left over from our last pizza. We do pizza about once a week. So I'll do some onions in here. What else do I want to put? Oh, can't forget the mushrooms. Let's do some mushrooms in there. I think that's it. I got the cheese on it, in it. I think I'll add a little bit more cheese. And then I'm going to take this side right here. Can you see me? Let me get you where you can see me. I'm going to roll this over to the other side. This is a little bit wider calzone than the last one. I'll flatten out all the food and all the goodies in there and get them spread out real good. There we go. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do, so it's centered here, get it spread out. I'll take my fork, I'm going to crimp the edges so that my pasta sauce doesn't ooze out while it cooks. And I'll do an egg wash on the outside of these so that the crust will be nice and shiny. Okay, so there's our second calzone. Oh, that's huge. Huge! Next, going to be the pizzas. Let me get my countertop cleaned up. So I have a cast iron pizza pan and then I have this one. I'm just going to work this dough, stretching it out as far as I can get it. I tried rolling them out before and then trying to pick them up and it didn't work. So I just would rather get it on the pan and spread it out as far as I can get it. This might not make a very big pizza. I need to learn how to pick it up and toss it, don't I? Leaving a little ridge around the edge so the pizza sauce doesn't come off. And then I'm sure there's somebody out there that knows how to do this much better than me. I'm going to brush it with the butter and the garlic. Beckett's going to be so excited when he comes to stay with Nana tonight. And we're having pizza, his favorite. One of his favorites. Pizza and spaghetti is Beckett's favorite with extra red sauce. And I think I just... Sausage, yum, yum. Let's do some onions on there. Some mushrooms on there. I probably should put the cheese down now. Probably so. That's probably what I should do. Cheese. Some bell peppers. The next one I make is going to just be a meat lovers because Beckett doesn't like all this stuff on his. I got the mushrooms on there. I'll put some pepperoni in there. These won't be very big pizzas, but I got 2 calzones to go with them, so that's gonna be plenty. Maybe the calzones will be good. I've never made them like that. That was just my little put together. Okay, there's that little pizza. Because I think this is going to be a smaller pizza, I'm going to use a smaller pan for it. Probably should have used up my other ones like this to do it, because it'll spread out to the edge. I do have a bigger cast iron pizza pan that I use. But I didn't think I had enough dough to spread one out on it, so I'll just use this one and make the meat lovers on it. And they go in a 425 preheated oven for 25 minutes. I'm going to let them go in. I'll let them cook first, and then we'll cook the pizza. I'm going to clean up my mess right now. Okay guys, we're back. I've taken the calzones out of the oven. They look delicious. Let me show you. That's the first one I made. And that's the second one I made. So that's the chicken. I had a little bit of leakage there. I'll let them sit there and rest. I put the first piece in. It cooks at 475 for 15 minutes. I got some bread going. I'm going to start stretching and folding it in just a little bit. But I've got these other 2 pizzas to cook. And then supper will be done. Calzone and homemade pizzas, sourdough. Boy, that egg wash. Ooh, it's pretty. It is pretty. And use my sourdough. And I fed this and let it sit out. Let me show you. Can you see in there? See how bubbly? Ooh, that is the sign. Look at there. Of a healthy. Ooh, yummy, yummy sourdough. And it smells so good. I'll put this back in the refrigerator because that's what I do. I store mine in the refrigerator until I'm ready. And then I pour out the amount I need and feed it and let it get good and active. But this will sit and become not as active in the refrigerator. Okay, that's everything out. There's the other pizza. Right there. So we have all meat lovers. We have a little supreme. I've cut the calzones. 13 items. And they're ready to eat. There you have it, homemade sourdough pizza. Just a little bit, and it's just 5 o'clock, and so it's right at the perfect time for supper. So thank you for joining me today on this beautiful day, April Fool's Day. And you know, as Sophie always says, a simple life is a much more enjoyable life. God bless you. We'll see you on the next video.